That's just as much for me as it is for you. Then I don't have to remember when I recorded the damn thing. $20 worth of toilet parts later. New fill valve. New handle. Bog roll holder. You betcha. We're international like that. So first thing we gonna do, shut the water off. That's easy. This happens to be a nice and easy quarter turn. Those are great. I like those. Next thing we need to do, get all the water out of that tank. First step, pretty easy. Why, even a child could do it. We just hold. Give it a 10 count, maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I always get stuck here. 8, 9, 10. Okay. Step the next, because I forget which step we're on. If you're going to do any kind of plumbing work, I'm going to tell you right now, one of the best things you can do, one of the least expensive, most useful things you can own, is just one of these. Is just a sponge. Just your basic little whatever sponge. Let's get this out of here. It'd be real nice if I could get those sold. Get them out of my way. I could use them out here. I could. I'm not going to, but I could. That's already got a chip in it. I didn't do that. I'm going to put this out here. And we will be cleaning off everything and everything. Okay. So that is one of these. Just wanted to kind of let it do its thing for a day or two. But, I mean, let's make some room here first. We don't need this anymore, because the new one doesn't use a ball float. We're just gonna sponge up the rest of this. You can use a rag, you can use a towel. I don't know. I think the sponge works better than anything. I mean, other than like a vacuum. You're going to suck all the water out. That's one thing. But all of my wet dry vacs are currently set up to do dry, and I don't want to change it. See how clean that water is? Boy, oh boy. I think now you can see how bad that is. The more water you get out now, the less mess you're going to deal with later. And the lighter it's going to be. Water can be kind of heavy. I'm going to take that out, get that out of the way. I'm loving that thing already. It's been like a week. I love it. Okay. I need to get this unclipped. You know, I don't think this handle here was made to go with this brand of toilet. Speaking of, if you are going to go shopping for parts, I think that's probably broken, for your toilet, your turlet, if you're of a certain era, get the brand, because it helps. Because not all fill valves are equal, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, that one was like $10, and I've seen them go up to like $40 or $50, which is ridiculous, I think. I know there are more professional plumbers than me out there who look at that like, oh god, that's garbage, don't buy that. And you know what, they're partly right. That is pretty garbage stuff. But I'm not paying you to do it, so shut up. Okay. There we go. Now, get that tank off. What we're going to do, we're going to come down here. I'm going to undo this. Of course, they got that. If it's plastic, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't need to be more than finger tight. Like hand tight is tight enough for plastic. If you get tools on it, what you could likely do is end up breaking it. Put a crack in it or something. And then you're SOL. So that's a bolt. That's a bolt. So underneath, we're going to undo those bolts, and the whole thing will come up. Now, I'm going to need 2 hands to do all this. Plus, I got to get a little work area set up outside. So I'm going to grab a couple sawhorses. We'll take that piece of OSB there, and we'll build a little table right out here for me to work on. So, uh-oh. I got starlings in the house. One thing I thought about getting that I should have, and I didn't, which means I gotta go back now, is replacement bolts. These fasteners here, they should have a slot in them so you can get a screwdriver on them. These are all sorts of screwed up. And then down here, where they go through, up there, there's a wing nut, and those are broken. So, I can't unscrew it from the top. I can't unscrew it from the bottom. So, we're going to have to go in between, up here, and cut them. Which is not great. And I don't know if I can get my sawzall in there. I probably can. I think I've got a long enough blade to do it. But we're going to do that before we leave to go get the parts. Because I can take that tank outside, let it get some air and some sunlight on it, and let it kind of dry and sanitize out a little tiny bit before we get back. Those should be, keyword should be brass. So even though this is a little more aggressive tooth, should cut through it just fine. Like a cold saw blade through what I no longer believe to be brass. Brass doesn't do that. Brass will patina, but it doesn't do that. You get an old crummy piece of brass, you put it in a paste made of salt, flour, and vinegar. You let it sit overnight. You wipe it down. It's pretty much perfect. Okay, there we go. Let's go throw it on the table. I'll go get some bolts, and we'll be back. Before we do that, obviously we'll come and clean all this crap out. Let's take the bottom of this and take a look at it. So these are what we cut. This fits in that hole in the middle there. There's your fill valve. So take that off of there. Now you can get a full like replacement kit, like everything, for like $30, I think. We don't care about that. There's your fill valve. Water comes up through here, comes out and around here, and then a little bit goes down here. And that's how your toilet works. And then it's all just physics and siphonage and everything else. Are we gonna be able to get these off? Probably not. Probably not. Oof, man. Just got stuff flying at me from all directions. Yeah, the whole thing's turning. So if you watch that, I'll come back here and turn this and you tell me if it's spinning, okay? I feel like it is. Yep. All right. So plan B is we need to cut the other side of that nut. So let's do it. There's a gasket, a rubber washer right there. So we'll just kind of try and cut through there. So see you in a second. In and out, in and out. Jesus Christ. I don't want to tap on that too hard. Don't have to break. Here's one. Here's two. Yeah, pretty sure that's brass plated. Okay, yeah. So we're just gonna leave this out. We'll let some sun and wind get into it. I'm gonna take care of this, and I will return some of those bolts. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm back. I walked. It's like 3 blocks. Not a big deal. So, gave everything a little bit of a wipe down. Giving everything a little bit more of a wipe down. This is what they should look like. This is a $10 kit. Brass. See? The screw. Shit. So, I gave the tank a little bit of a wipe down, a little bit of a clean with our homemade cleaning solution mix. So just go, before we throw that on though, we'll install our new fill valve. Those little tablets that I put in are a kind of like a low powered bleach kind of thing. So I'm not going to go super nuts trying to get everything situated with that. I have used these before. I know I've heard some YouTube plumbers say, oh, they're garbage. You don't want to use those, but it works. There's no ball float needed for this. This is the float. This is your shut off. So, it could just, do what we did last time, but backwards. This guy goes in here, like that. You adjust the height of the whole unit, but I think this is going to be pretty close, so leave it alone. There's your fastener for the outside, and this is your clip to do what this hose does. So let's get this put together. Again, I want to reiterate, plastic, inside is plastic. Hand tight is tight enough. Plus there's a gasket on the inside, or these, so that takes care of that. Like I said, this little guy, you've got this adjusts how much water you want. And right there is a little spout. You take that hose off, put it on that spout, it goes in this. If you don't have, or if you're replacing the whole thing, you would take this guy and you clip him in there, and then your hose connects to that spout. Easy stuff. Be kind of nice if we had a little light in that bathroom, but right now we don't. This, that can stay out till it dries. Okay, next, I'm gonna put the handle on, then we'll hook the water up. I'm gonna give that a wipe down. Now we need to bolt the tank to the bowl. So, holes are mostly lined up. This is why I haven't done a lot of these videos lately, because trying to hold everything gets to be a bit of a production here. Okay, these come in different thicknesses and different lengths. So if you can salvage one of yours, if you need to go buy some, do that. I was not able to do that, so I bought the longest, thickest ones they had, because that's a fairly sizable gap down there. And that's a fairly sizable hole right there. So, why are you doing me dirty like that? How's that? Probably can't see a damn thing, can you? Or what you're seeing, you don't want to. Can't say I blame you. Come on. Super ultra NASA grade plastic there. Okay. So we've got 4 of these little neoprene washers. We've got 4 of these regular stainless washers. You've got 2 wing nuts, and you've got 2 nut nuts. So the way these are going to go together, from inside the tank, washer, gasket, and then there's the bottom of the tank will sit here. And then you have a washer, or a gasket, excuse me, and then a washer, and then the nut, and get it started. And then this whole thing fastens to the bowl, to the seat, with another washer and the wing nut on the bottom. So it's held together in 2 different places. This portion where the tank sits in there, this is just to make a watertight seal between the tank and the bottom of the tank. And then when you get the wing nut and the other washer, that's what fastens it. Okay? So don't just go start throwing parts on willy-nilly. This is what goes in the tank. The fastener and 1 gasket. We need another gasket for each, a washer for each, and a nut for each. And I probably should have grabbed some wrenches. These are not plastic, so you can use tools to tighten them. So, reach under the bottom, find your fastener, lift it up, and fiddle around with it till you get that gasket where it needs to be. Do it again so you can get that metal washer on there. Just gotta fish around with it till you get it lined up right. Uh-oh, I dropped it. I screwed everything up. This would be easier if I was down on the floor and I could see what I was doing. But then I wouldn't be able to reach into the tank to guide everything. My orangutan-like arms are not quite that orangutan-y. Okay. By the way, not that I think anybody cares, but on the inside of the bowl, or the tank, excuse me, there's a date stamped that tells you when this thing was made. This was January 5th, 1990. It's an old toilet. Thing fell off again. All right, I'm gonna have to get down there. Don't love the idea, but it'll be less annoying than doing it this way. right. You know, this would be easier to do now that I think about it. Because we don't have to have it connected for this part. Way to go, dummy. What a dummy. We can get in here and we'll take a look at it. Let me get this one screw tight. The problem with having to get the longest of everything is threading it takes for freaking ever. There. So on the inside is the bolt and a gasket. We have the bottom of the tank. Gasket, washer, nut. Same thing on this side. Gasket, washer, and a nut. The other one, that we have to do when it's attached, because those go through those little holes there. But this just goes on here. You don't need to see me tighten the nut, do you? Didn't think so. Okay. There you go. There's a gap there. That's fine. Do not use tools to tighten those wing nuts. You can crack the porcelain. Get one started. Start the other one. Do 2 or 3 turns. 2 or 3 turns. And go back and forth till they're snug. How much better that is. Other thing. Those down there. Don't go nuts tightening those either. Get them snug. They don't need to be super tight. Nothing in a toilet is under pressure except here. When the water comes in, hits this is pressurized. When this fills up and the float rises and shuts off, there's no more pressure in it. So the only force pushing down on anything is gravity. And as powerful as gravity is, it's no match for a couple of neoprene washers. Unless we're talking like universally, cosmic scale. I would probably put a couple bucks on gravity in that situation. Okay, hand tight. On. Filling up. Let's put that handle on before it gets all full of water. Ah. Where'd I put the damn thing? There it is. These come in a variety of different styles, shapes, materials, finishes. Some toilets have the handle off to the side like that. If yours does, don't buy this one. If yours is this, don't buy that one. You can get some that are full plastic. This is not plastic. Don't know for sure what that metal is. You can get some with a hinge in the middle, so you can bend it to make it longer or shorter. If you're not capable enough to clip the chain or pin it back or whatever, I guess that'll work for you. So, unthread that. Again, it's very easy. Sorry for the camera work. Push it through. Square hole in the tank. Square nylon bushing on the handle. So those fit together. Put this back on. And these, I believe, you can consider reverse thread. So, and again, this does not need to be tool tight. It's plastic on plastic, but no water should ever get that high. If your water's that high, you're set up wrong. Excuse me. Next, chain. You want it to be tight. You don't want it to be so tight that when it's closed, it's pulling up a little bit. But you don't want it to be so loose that when you pull the handle, that the thing just flops around. So you can tell that's a little high. Our chain's a little low. So I'll put y'all back over here. I'm going to take the clip off the chain. That's your clip on a chair. We're going to put this in the handle. And I'm going to start at the farthest hole in the handle there, the lever. And then I'm going to take my chain. I'm going to pull it, not so it's open. I'll pull it till it closes. I don't know if you can hear that, letting it drop. And get a little bit of tension on it. And then I'm going to go wherever that link matches up, and then I'm going to add one link. That will give it just a little bit of slack. Went one too far. And try that one. Oops, missed completely. Good job. Okay, come here. So that's, you can hear it shut. Open it. We're just going to clear the top, which is fine. Open her up. We'll let this fill. We'll check for leaks. I think I've got some paper I can throw on the ground. The only other thing we need to do is use this to adjust how much water we want in the tank. About there. About a 3/4 to a quarter or a full inch from the top of this tube is about right. So, let it do its thing. Yeah, it looks kind of wet down there, but it's been wet, so hard to say for sure. Do I have... I do. Let's keep an eye on that. That's old water from where we pulled the tank. And that can't fit where those screws are, so... Woo. There's some paper towel down there, and we'll just see. So how's your day? Having a good day? Okay, so that's a little lower than I would like. So we turn this, it drops the float. Oh. I heard something. I don't think it was water though. We're okay. Yeah, it's as far down as that's going to go. I think that's all right. Now for the fun part. That thing needs cleaned so bad. Ain't great, but I think it'll do the job. Go throw our little cleaning tablet back in there. I'll clean this off. Get some cleaner. Clean the bowl real good. Do not put excessive amounts of bleach in your tank because it could possibly eat the seals, like your flapper valve and all that. Bleach can be kind of caustic. So there's our thing. He says as he touches it with his hands. It's fine. It can eat the rubber, the neoprene and all that, so don't do that. A little bit is fine. You don't want to pour like 4 cups in there and just let it sit. You know, flush it while it's empty, let it fill up halfway, put in a half cup or a cup. That'll be fine. If you're going to bleach, it's much better to bleach the bowl than the tank. Because you don't want to have to do this once a year because you bleached it so bad it ate the gaskets at the bottom of the whole thing. Okay. The other thing I grabbed while I was out, very important. Well, this was the cheapest one they had, and I think I know why. That ain't great. I kid you not, this one was, I think, $5. I saw one for $50. 10 of these would have bought one of that other one. To which, my question is, how expensive is the toilet paper you're buying to put on that thing? Because I'll bet it's not much different than mine. Anyway, project done. Excited. I'll get that speaker out of there so I can actually, sit down and use it should I ever need to. We'll keep an eye on the paper. Oh, it's got a little bit of a drip on it. I don't know if that's... That's all dry. Dry there. A little bit of a drip there. Nope, I lied. But we'll keep an eye on it for a day and see. I don't think it's going to be a big issue. So, thank y'all for joining me on this exciting episode of the Groove Machine Dome. I'm going to clean that and go inside and wash my hands. There's a bottle of rubbing alcohol right there. Just dump that on. That'd do the same thing. Probably better. Who knows? Thank y'all. See you for the next one. Real quick, something else I should mention. We had that drain there. Right down there. Can't really see it. Right there. Right there. In between the 2 valves that I needed to get a cap in so we didn't have any issues with sewer gas coming in since this was going to be used again. Like everything else, that is not under pressure in wastewater. That pipe is attached to that one down there. I can't see if you can see it. The one that this was attached to went up through there to vent. So I mean, there's no, it's not sealed, right? Air's got to get in to help flush the system, literally. So I just cut the top of a soda bottle and just shoved it in there for now. It'll work fine. You can use anything as long as it fits snug. Again, nothing but air should come out of there, but it's not the kind of air you want to, breathe. Because it's going to be gross. Don't need that anymore. every kind of key I have imaginable. Put the tools away. And then, yeah, clean up a bit and that'll be it. Right on.